Hi everyone, welcome to another live. Today I'm hosting Nick Caputo, aka Grab from the Garden. Sorry for the delay, by the way. He was finishing up with a client of his. So here we are. Hi Jerome, welcome. Sorry about the delay. We are here, yay! We're gonna do this. So, yeah, like I said, I'm hosting Nick Caputo today, and hi John. Hey, he's here. Come on in. Wait, should I send you an invite? Yes. Here you go. Hi everyone, welcome. So I should introduce Nick Caputo for those of you who don't know. So I actually found him only like a couple of months ago, and I felt so aligned with everything he was saying, and I had the chance to meet him in person only like last week. And I told this to himself as well, that I felt so aligned with everything he's doing. You know how it is in the health world, like you find someone that you think you're super aligned, but then they're either like, if there are like 10 elements of, sun, air, raw food, urine therapy, this and that, there's always something that you don't feel exactly like aligned. But with Nick, it's like he does everything that I do and plus more. Oh, I don't know what happened. Just a second. Okay. I think there's a connection issue. So yeah, I love everything that he stands for. He's a big advocate for breathwork, urine therapy. He always says that sun and air are the lightest, best foods for us. And he's also a big advocate of raw food, green juices, herbal teas, and so much more. Hi everyone, thanks for coming. I'm waiting for Nick to join. I hope he can join. It says waiting for Grub from the Garden, but I think the connection maybe is not that great, so I don't know if he's gonna be able to join. Yay! You made it! Wait, I can't hear you though.
You can't see me?
Oh, yes, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay,
Hey,
true.
thanks for coming.
Going on?
Nothing. It's just, I had a good day. Went for a bike ride and looping my Urine. It's a good day. How are you doing?
Nice, I'm good. Yeah, I've had a bunch of clients because Breathwork Bootcamp just finished like 2 days ago. So everybody who's booked consultations for like the last month, today like the first day that was available. So I had like a million people booked today. So I'm like in my gap right now. So it's
Oh,
like good. But yeah,
perfect. Yeah,
yeah. So
thanks.
a little late. That last client took a little longer. Um,
It's
yeah,
okay. No worries.
all good.
Yeah, it's all good. So I want to jump right into it. But I also want to say, like, after I met you last week, I kind of like went onto your YouTube channel and binge watched all your videos. Not all, but like maybe 70-80%. And I just want to say, like, I love the way you transmit the information that you obviously learned and digested. It's just like you're giving the information like so straightforward and like no chatter in the middle, like it's just so straightforward and so compact and so feels so true. And I feel like so aligned with everything that you're saying. I'm just so grateful, to have found you. And also thank you for being you, because in the health world, like you find someone that like seems like a health guru, and then you study their principles and everything, and then you see, oh, they're against urine therapy, or they do cooked foods or something. It's always like there's something that doesn't align. But with you, I feel like everything you do is also what I do, and you do even more, like breath work and so on, because that's something that I just started tapping into. And yeah, I just wanted to say like how I'm grateful for what you're doing and for all the messages that you're giving out on your channel and everything else. So I'm gonna jump in right into the subject. Okay, so I know you do urine therapy. So I read something you wrote the other day, like anything other than urine might steal something from you, but urine won't. And I think that's really deep, and I wanted to ask you if you could like a little bit expand on that.
Yeah, so basically the body is made of 102 minerals, and anything that you consume is going to think of it everything like, I mean, there's a bunch of ways you can think of it. You could think of it like a song, or you could think of it like anything that's complete. And when you're adding something else to the body, you're merging with it. So I think I posted yesterday, I think it was, with I used black paint as the example. So if you take black paint, right? Black is the one true color. It is the highest frequency color. It is light in its whole form, is black, darkness, ultraviolet. So if you were to take black paint and you mix it with a different color, that color is going to take out some of the black. The black is going to give up some of its wholeness to make that other paint whole enough to merge with the black. So basically that's what happens when you consume anything, is that it's going to take from you whatever it lacks. You sacrifice some of your wholeness to make that food whole enough to process and merge with you. Now, you're sacrificing yourself in the process. Are you really eating your food, or is your food really eating you? Now, when you consume your urine already is you. It already is the blood that's been through all of your veins, and it's actually cleaner than the blood that is in your veins. So when you consume your urine, you're getting all 102 minerals. You're getting stem cells. You're getting HGH. You're getting like all different stuff in your urine. Like basically, there's nothing that you could ever take in a supplement and nothing that you could ever get in a food that's not in your urine. There's literally nothing in the universe that's not in your urine, elementally, as far as go.
That makes so much sense. I mean, it's all like it's ourself anyway. We're just like circulating ourselves, and it's not stealing anything. And even when you think about like the best source of foods, which are fruits, like even they are at a point like, if not so much, a little mucus forming, and you know, it can still create some blockages in the body because it's a foreign substance at the end of the day. And so,
yeah, any substance puts the body at a substance. So that's why they call them substances. And with fruits, right, even with the hydration from the fruits, like if you were in the breatharian state, like you were truly in homeostasis, like absolute balance, right? You're properly hydrated, everything is the way that it's supposed to be inside the body, and you're flowing. And you eat a fruit. Now you're overhydrated. Now you pee. The only reason we pee is we drink or we eat stuff with water that we don't need. And then we have excess, the blood is diluted, the bladder can't hold all the excess liquid, and we spill plasma. So basically, when you're in the breatharian state, when you are completely at the point where you're in homeostasis and balance, you don't need to consume liquids either. And then if you were to consume a fruit from the tree when you were in balance, it's literally an exchange like with water evenly of emotion. And fruits are basically tree urine. It's, you know, the tree releases the seed and the urine at the same place, just like the male human releases the seed and the urine at the same point through the urethra. So when you're eating a fruit, you're basically drinking tree pee. And then when you tree pee, you overhydrate, and now you are going to have to spill plasma, and then you give that you pee on the tree, and you give the tree back the energy. And it's the same. You know, you're getting water from the tree, you're giving water to the tree, but at the same time, you're kind of fragmenting yourself in the process because you're supposed to be looping internally. So your bladder and kidneys are supposed to be able to absorb all of your urine back into your bloodstream instead of spilling it externally. Now, eventually, when you get to this point, that's basically like your blood in your veins becomes like aged urine. So that's like kind of the sense of how breatharianism and being in that state is related to immortality, or, you know, not anti-aging, because your blood is looping and maturing as it's going through your body and staying in your body longer. As in when you're peeing, you're literally spilling blood plasma, and then you're drinking water to just dilute the blood that you have. But blood is made of breath. It's not supposed to be made of water. that you took on externally. So when you're taking on a lot of extra water to compensate for how much you're peeing, or you're peeing to compensate for how much you're drinking, you're basically just diluting your blood and spilling plasma and basically pissing your life away, literally. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
when you loop, the whole point of drinking your urine is to, first of all, like, stop losing what you're urinating, because through the process of rehydration, you're going to have to pee a lot because you have to train your body to get back into that point. You got to get the gunk off the kidneys and bladder. Then once you've done like enough liquid fasting over the process, then you can go to just a urine fast and fast on just your urine until you stop urinating. So once you fast on your urine long enough, then eventually your bladder and kidneys will be trained to reabsorb. And then once your
Mm-hmm.
bladder and kidneys are reabsorbing, you're looping internally, you stop peeing. Once you're on that urine fast and you stop peeing, that's it. It's breatharianism. You're there. And if you
Yeah.
try to get into dry fast without doing that urine fast thing, you're not ready, and you'll never be able to sustain it. Your bladder and kidney
Mm-hmm.
looping internally in order for you to actually be able to sustain breatharianism. And that's the way you were born. But throughout the years, we all have experienced plaque linings on our kidneys and uh, bladders. And you can tell this, like, tell me one person who doesn't get anxious in the afternoon and want to eat. If you don't want to eat, like if you want to eat between 3 and 7 p.m., like when you get home from work or when you get home in the afternoon and you don't want to eat or crunch something, you're probably like better off than most people, because that's the time when the bladder and kidneys are detoxing. They're at their highest energy. So you notice the hunger, you notice the anxiety. Anxiety is the emotion linked to the bladder and kidneys as well. And
Mm-hmm.
we live in anxious worlds in history.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Wow, this is so deep. I love this information, and it's so fascinating to like see. And I always say like urine therapy, I think is like the perfect bridge to breatharianism. And then like after you loop it for a while and you come to a point where you're not peeing anymore, you're actually circulating your own pee inside, and it's aging inside you. The stem cells are growing and growing in number inside you, and it's not like it's even getting merged with your own universal energy inside your body. It's not like aging a bottle of urine outside of your body and drinking it. It's like you're aging it inside. It's just so fascinating, and it makes so much sense. Like that brings immortality later on, because it's the ultimate elixir of life. So
yeah,
last week, when we were chatting, Elijah, you and me and Julia, so you mentioned that you should drink your pee either like right away or age it.
yeah. So if you're gonna loop it, it's best to just get it while it's hot and just drink it right away when it's warm, and
Mm-hmm.
then because it's at body temperature at that point.
Oh, okay.
So
So you said
it,
it
it
because of the temperature.
yeah, it'll absorb
Mm-hmm.
fast because it's the same temperature of your body. So it'll be easier on your stomach and on your organs to just get right absorbed right away. Now with the aged, when you age it, there's a lot of things that happen with the maturity of the urine. The charges separate and you get that sediment. Um, it becomes more electronegative, so the magnetic charge of the urine increases, and the stem cells multiply, and a lot of things are happening in the urine as it matures that make it a lot more potent.
Mm-hmm.
Eli was good.
Hey, we were just talking about you. So, yeah, temperature is very important. I mean, at the end of the day, you always prefer to wash your dishes with warm water instead of cold water, which like makes things even harder. The warm water just dissolves everything and probably breaks up the mucus even better. So it makes a lot of sense. The reason that I asked about that is because you know how some liquids have also like gases in them. And I was wondering if urine also has a gas in it and you have to drink it right away so that you don't lose that gas that's like expelled once you pee it out. I don't know if that's true with the urine.
Interesting. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about it as gases.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, it's actually better to age it than it is to just loop it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Basically, like you're giving your body, because you're not looping internally, drinking the aged is basically like as if your kidneys and bladder were reabsorbing and your urine was aging inside you. So
Mm-hmm.
since you're not at the breatharian point yet, drinking aged is really the only way to get that mature blood into your body, that mature plasma into your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, talking about the aged urine, what do you think about the residue at the bottom of the bottle? Do you use that? Do you drink it? Or, some suggest that, urine does a work on its own, like it separates it in time. We gotta like respect that work that the urine is doing and just drink the top part, or, what do you think on that? Did you ever like utilize that part?
Yeah, so you use it or you separate it for specific reasons. But first off, I want to make it clear that this is a natural thing that occurs inside your blood vessels as well. So the reason why your blood is able to flow is because the water in your blood uses electricity to separate charges along and structure water along the hydrophilic surface of the proteins on the inside of your blood vessels. Now, when this occurs, it creates kind of like a gel, just like that sediment that you see on the bottom of the jar when you mature the urine. It creates
Mm-hmm.
this is plasma. This is the fourth state of water, that gel phase. So what happens is that gel phase is super electronegative, and then all of the positive ions, the protons in the middle, in the liquid, this is in your blood vessels, repel each other, and that's what actually fuels the blood flow. Is the
Mm-hmm.
repelling positive ions in the middle of the gel
Yeah.
that form separation of charges. So as you mature your urine, you are seeing that happen in the jar because the urine against the glass creates a hydrophilic surface, which allows that to occur.
Pulling us
Now,
up.
um, yeah, so
So did you ever like do you use it or
yeah, so it depends what you're going for. Usually,
Mhm.
from my experience now, with about a year of messing with it, I would say that you use the sediment for detox and you take out the sediment for nourishment. So if you drink it with the sediment, it's going to hurt your stomach a lot more. It's going to go through your system a lot harsher. And that's really what's going to make you spit out worms. And
Mhm.
that's what's going to, like, really, it's like doing an enema through your mouth. Now, same thing with like the snorting it. If you mix up the sediment into the aged and then you snort it, it's going to burn a lot more. It's going to be a lot more intense, but you're going to get a lot more out of you that way.
Mhm.
Whereas with the separated, like if you were to just separate it with like basically the way I do it is it settles to the bottom and the sides. I just basically pour it until I start seeing the sediment move off the bottom, and then I'm like, all right, that's it. And then I just like save the bottom with all the sediment in it as like for detox, like whenever I want to do like a detox thing. But you
Oh.
use that like nourishment without the sediment. So like if you're just drinking it to absorb it and to get like nutrients into your blood, and you
Mhm.
want to like if I massage it onto my skin, if I get like a cut, or if I want to put it in my hair, I take out the sediment.
Mhm. I see. Wow, this is but
Depends.
sorry, go ahead. Oh, I lost you.
Oh, yeah, I just said it just depends on what you want to use it for, whether you take it out or not. There's a
Mhm.
couple questions in the comments that I want to answer before we move on, real quick.
Sure, yes, please.
Um, so somebody said, what about urine in tea? Now, you can use urine in tea, but I feel like it's kind of a disrespect to the urine. It'll make the tea better, but it'll make the urine worse because, like I said, anything that you consume will take from you what it lacks. So the tea is going to take from the urine what it lacks. But either way, I mean, you're better off, like you can't add to what's already complete. So I feel like you're better off just consuming the urine by itself. And if you want to make tea with distilled water.
Mhm.
And either way, like it'll taste a lot better with the distilled water than it will with the urine.
Well,
Um,
mhm.
that being said, there's nothing wrong with like putting herbs in your urine to like make it taste better. If you're new to this process, you can like use lavender, or you could put something in there to make it taste a little better. Like you could put roses in it or something to make it taste better in the beginning. Or like if you put urine on your skin, you can combine it with like some essential oils or something. Put some essential oils in your urine so that you smell like lavender instead of smelling like piss. If your pee smells bad still.
Mhm.
And then somebody asked if I still pee. And the answer is yes. I still pee, still drink liquids. Yeah, it's coconut water mostly. Um, Pretty much like 90% coconut water. I've been messing with like Harmless Harvest. I'm in Jersey now for now, so I'm like stuck with the Harmless Harvest. It's really my only option. And Harmless Harvest now makes like it's called like a coconut smoothie. So it's like the coconut water from them mixed with like the coconut meat. So I've been drinking those too, honestly, and they're pretty freaking good. But
Hmm.
anyway, drinking those, and so I'm still peeing because I'm still drinking. But when I go on my ketosis fast and then I go into the urine fast, eventually, like yeah, I do stop peeing pretty much every time I go on a fast like that. But the longest I've been sustaining it is 12 days so far. That's
Hmm.
my record, and some of my clients have beat my record actually. Um, this one
Yeah.
girl in Nandi, India, my Breathwork bootcamp class in January, she did like over 30 days.
Wow, that's amazing. But yeah, I mean, urine really takes away all your cravings and you lose your hunger. So I can see how that might happen to someone if they are ready for that point, you know, if they are hydrated enough. And once you eliminate all the dehydrating stuff in your body, then, you know, once you're hydrated, then you can easily go on a dry too, I guess. That's what
Exactly.
I'm.
It's an
Mhm,
emotional too, though. Like you got to be emotionally ready for it because
mhm,
that's a part about the whole process that people overlook usually. Like they're still, you could do like crazy fasts on like juice or whatever and fruit and kind of still distract yourself with your phone or with other people or with like busy work, whatever it is. You're still kind of distracting yourself from yourself. So
mhm,
even though you're getting rid of one distraction, the food or smoking, you're still distracting yourself in other ways from feeling your emotions and letting your trauma resurface. So like when you really get into a fast and you don't use your phone and you don't hang out with other people and you just actually like dive into yourself, those emotions are going to come up. And when you try to do a urine fast or a dry fast or even just like a water fast, herbal tea fast, anything in ketosis, those
mhm,
emotions are going to come all up and smack you in your face real quick. So like being prepared for the emotional part of the process is definitely key too. And I wrote a
mhm,
whole book on called Emotional Rehydration. So if anybody wants to go peep that, the link's in my bio. The book's only 33 bucks. And like
mhm,
anybody really looking to start incorporating fasting into their lifestyle and do any sort of extended fast, definitely read that book because understanding the emotional process of how it works when you fast is
mhm.
essential. It's imperative in my opinion to
Yeah,
be able to do.
absolutely. Because I think every time you eat something, you store an emotion with that matter. It like becomes denser in your body. It solidifies itself, that emotion, with whatever you're eating. And then once you start dry fasting and that dead matter or the stored up matter in your body is dissolving, then all those emotions start coming up to the surface. And you have to know how to deal with them, embrace them, and feel them and experience the whole thing once again, and then release it. So it's a big part of the dry fasting process. So
Yeah, for sure. Because those emotional storages, like those blockages in your body, are
mhm,
physical representations of that stored emotion. So, like, think about like water being the element of emotion, right? So,
mhm,
any water in your body is emotional energy. You're 70% emotional energy. Now, when you create mucus, mucus is emotional energy too. So,
mhm,
usually, emotions are they're sensations that indicate a imbalance in an organ or along an organ meridian, right? So as you feel these emotions, basically you feel emotions because you create mucus, because you consume something that's not meant for you. And by emotions, I mean negative emotions, which are really diseases: anger, frustration, anxiety, fear, worry. Those are all depression, sadness, grief. These are all
mhm,
diseases. They're not emotions. They're actually stagnating energy. They're not energy in motion. They're energy stagnating. And this is
mhm,
basically mucus. Now, when you are consuming things that are so dry that the mucus, basically the mucus is the immune system. The lymphatic system is the immune system. So whenever there's a poison introduced into the body, mucus is created, mucus attaches to the poison, slimes it out of the body. Now what happens is some of the shit we eat or smoke is so dry that it actually dries out the mucus too. So not only is it drying out everything it touches, it also dries out the mucus. Then that
mhm.
mucus, which is that emotional energy, gets dried out and stuck.
Right.
Now
Mhm,
that's dried out, stuck emotional energy. So think of like your emotions like a grape. And when you eat salt, it turns your emotional grape into a raisin. And it's basically like preserved, right? It won't
mhm.
go bad. That emotion stays in there, stuck and
Right. Right.
dry, as long as it stays there. And then as soon
Mhm,
as you soak that grape, now you soak the raisin back to a grape, and now all that emotional energy is back in it. So like basically that dried shit that's stuck in your body as you liquid fast, you're rehydrating that shit that's stuck, and now it's going to, it's a grape again. So now that emotion is back. just like it never left. So you basically put it on pause and you stored it, and now that you rehydrated it, you're feeling it again. The emotion is back in there. So that's a huge part of the process. Like, and whenever you're going through something, something is going through you. So if you're on a fast and you're feeling these crazy feelings of emotions that are coming up, which I call emotional vomit, I learned that from Taylor. Something is going through you. You have a poop coming. There's something that was dry in you that was like, that's moving around now. It's getting wet. So that's why you're feeling it. So, yeah. So gas is less dense liquid. Yes, that is very true. Urine is just, I wouldn't say it's very dense gas, but it's dense gas. I would say like nuts are very dense gas. But yeah, so I mean, the blood is the liquid consciousness. It is liquid breath. So the urine is literally your breath crystallized. So yeah, it definitely is just breath.
So I have another question. So we talked about like combining it with tea, but the tea would be like stealing things from the urine. What do you think about warming up the urine? And because I know like warm enemas are even better than the room temperature ones. What do you think about that? Do you think when we would like warm up the urine or heat it a little bit, would it lose its power or potency?
So if you heat it up past 115 degrees, yes. But if it's just warmed, no. But then again, you don't really need to if you're using fresh. You can just pee right into the enema bag and use it right away, and it'll be warm that way. Or if put your aged out in the sun, and the sun will heat it up.
Oh, okay, that's the best way. Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple more questions that I want to go through that are in the bottom. Urine in the morning or key lime water. I mean, urine is definitely the better option, but when you're just starting, lime water isn't terrible. Like when I first got on the fruitarian wave, I was doing lime water in the morning, but now, herbal teas replaced the lime water. Like sarsaparilla, burdock, yellow dock replaced lime water for me because there's no sugar in it. And then from there, urine replaced the herbal teas in the morning for me. And I mean, I still do the herbal tea sometimes, but yeah. Someone said, I just joined. Please explain why urine is not waste. You can go on my YouTube or just DM me for the link to the video, and there's a video called What Actually Is Urine? Hint, it's not waste, and it's a full 15-minute explanation of me talking about why urine's not waste, so I'm not going to cover that here. You can just check that out. Do you drink Kangen water? Absolutely fucking not.
A big no.
Yeah, definitely. The Kangen machine, people say a million things about it, and they're phenomenal at their marketing and really brainwashing people to be able to reiterate the same shit that they don't really understand about water. But I mean, you could say whatever you want about ionization and the pH change. I mean, first of all, alkaline water is horrible for you in the first place because your stomach is supposed to be acidic, and you're diluting the acidity with alkaline water, and you're preventing yourself from being able to process other shit that you put in your body. And then in addition to that, there is no machine that is attaching carbon to the molecules of the water. So no matter what, there's no machine that creates living water except your body. So basically, you're going to drink Kangen water. You drink the Kangen water, your body attaches carbon to it, and then you piss it out, and then you drink that again. So basically, if you want to filter water, you can be the water filter. But using an external one doesn't really work. And I mean, considering a Kangen machine is like 5 racks and a water distiller is like $250 on Amazon, you're definitely better off getting a distiller because it's literally better and a fraction of the price. And you're not trapped into working for a corporation that basically just false markets at people and gets people to, commit to selling a product that most of them end up not really resonating with.
Yeah.
People start working with me and then that work for Kangen and then end up not really being about it and being kind of tied to have to still pay for this machine if they don't sell.
Yeah. And actually our bodies are the perfect water distiller machines. So urine therapy is the best. But if you don't have, if you're not there yet, if you're not practicing that, of course, the next one is distilled water. But what do you do anything? Do you think we need to do anything to structure distilled water, like machine made distilled water? Or do you think it's just okay to drink it as it is from the machine?
You put the herbs in it. I don't recommend drinking water at all. No matter what kind of water it is, I don't recommend plain water. So if you're going to use water, you want to take like you want to put herbs in it because the herbs are going to attach to carbon. The herbs are liquid. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the living is what I meant to say. That are going
So
to add that life to it. And then in addition to that, you can vortex water. I don't have like a jar, but I could like pretend with this bottle, like you kind of like you it, like
yeah,
vortex
right.
it. Yeah,
Mm,
and you
yeah.
can do that with
So
because
that's
that's what your,
structured the water, right?
yeah, that's what your heart does to your blood. Um,
Oh wow.
Let's see. And you can read about that in my book, Heart Diseases Dehydration, where I talk all about the circulatory system, how the heart doesn't pump blood and what the heart is actually for, how the blood vessels, how the blood moves through the blood vessels if the heart isn't the pump. It's the full explanation is in that book, and it's only $5.
Wow. Amazing. That's great
Um,
info. I didn't know that.
yeah, of course. Can someone just start with urine, or do you have to eat clean and then drink it? It depends. It's up to you. You can just start anytime, but it's gonna taste like shit if you're eating like shit. So it's gonna kind of confirm that for you. And if you started eating better or started doing like, if you did like 2 or 3 days on liquid first, it would taste a lot better. But drinking the urine when it's not clean is like when it tastes like shit. That's the best time to drink it because it's the fastest way to clean your blood. Like the fastest way to get it to taste good is to drink it when it doesn't taste good.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I take external liquids? Because I am still addicted to sugar, like everyone else.
Me
Uh,
too.
that
I'm
is,
addicted to pineapple juice.
yeah. And honestly, since I've been back to Jersey, it's been like I've been extra on the liquids because like it feels dry here. Like I'm used to
Mhm.
like the humidity being by the beach in the tropics, so now it's like the air feels super dry and it's like cold. So I just like feel like I've been like a lot more on the coconut water and the hot tea than I usually do. I usually don't drink that much, um, every day anymore, at least, other than
Mhm.
my urine. Like, but in general, and I also still take on liquids because I still want to pee so that I can save my pee and use it for like my hair and use it for my skin and use it for like enemas and stuff like that. Like I kind of like I find it useful to continue on liquids for a period of time. And because I'm not at that point in the journey where I'm ready for full on breatharianism yet. You gotta be honest with yourself where you're at, and you gotta spend the time at each density. Spend time being fruitarian. Like I did 6 months straight of fruitarian, and then I dabbled with raw vegan and went back and forth between liquids and fruitarianism, and now like I'm mostly liquid, still eating fruits on occasion, and like for the most part, the only reason I'm still on the liquids and the fruits is because I still got cleaning out internally to do. So until I'm done with that, I'm using the liquids to allow myself to pee more to continue to clean myself out. And then once I feel like I'm 100% clean, then I'm ready to go. And I mean, I'm pretty much almost there, but there's definitely some stuff from like childhood that's still in there. And you can tell by like your memory return. Like if you can't remember your whole childhood, you can't remember your birth or your circumcision or things like that, then like you still got shit stuck inside you because otherwise you'd be able to remember everything because your body, your brain has stored every event that's ever happened since the beginning of time. So if you don't have full recollection of your memories, then you're blocked up by something.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that makes such a sense. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. Like I've been raw vegan for 6 years, and like been a fruitarian for the last year, almost like fully fruitarian, and I lost my cravings for all greens and salads, even green juices. And yeah, but I think the reason why I'm here today is because I've been also practicing UT for 4 years, and like the structured water, my own water just cleaned me up so much that, I not only got rid of all my diseases this way, but also like I lost all my cravings, and I'm just on fruit juices right now, like 90% on juices and just 10%, couple of fruits a day. But I'm really surprised where I'm at because like I'm eating maybe like in calorie wise, which I know calories are not like important, but I mean, calorie wise, I'm like maybe consuming only 500 or 600 calories a day, yet I'm exercising so much more and sleeping only like 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes I have more time to myself. It's like the best path to freedom, freedom of food, freedom of medicine. Like I love UT so much that it's been like the way for me. But I also want to get into the breath work too, and I know how before finding you and Devon and a couple of other people, I found Joe Dispenza, and I saw how you know, he was helping people heal in just a matter of an hour from the chronic diseases that they were fighting for years and years. So it was like blowing my mind out. And but at the same time, I was seeing how it's possible, because like comparing urine to air is of course much lighter, it moves the energy much faster, and which where the power is probably coming from, because it's moving the energy in the body much faster and breaking up those blockages that we talked about. So I want to ask you, like, how you got into it, if it helped you personally to like get rid of any diseases. Because for me, like, UT has been approved for me. You know, I've healed PCOS, hypothyroidism, insulin resistance, acne, so much, you know, like it has proved me over and over every year, and I've been getting more and more benefits every year from practicing UT. But I haven't dived deep into breath work yet, except doing like 75-minute breath work sessions from Joe Dispenza, where I'm like uniting the air I breathe in from the ether and the earth in my heart, which is funny because those three are all made up of the same letters. But yeah, it's been very interesting, and I definitely want to dive more deep into it. Maybe get into one of your breathwork boot camps. I would love to join. And so, yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so
Especially like when you compare it to the UT, how it's like more efficient or not?
the breath work is more important. The breath
Yeah.
work is the most important out of everything. So, I mean, I created the Caputo method of holistic ease that consists of 9 pillars, all of which I think are imperative in order to actually live a life of complete ease. And they include respiration, rehydration, detoxification, food density reduction, conscious movement and stillness, sexual energy refinement, reflexology, avoiding poison, like avoiding products and shit, and cycle alignment. So all of those things, in my opinion, are absolutely necessary in order for you to actually live a life of ease, like free of dis-ease. And breathwork is number one. Respiration is the first pillar of the Caputo method of holistic ease. It is the most important out of everything. Now, urine comes into number 2, which is part of the rehydration process. But basically, like the breathwork is where it's at. And that's because your urine is made out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
So without the breath, the urine doesn't exist. So basically, with fasting, and this was a question that I was going to answer in the questions Gab So Drizzy asked. I can't fast more than 5 days. Can you give advice for extended fasting? Breath work, breath work, breath work, breath work, breath work. Like, learn how to do the breath work before you even think about fasting. That's like, I'm writing a book right now on how to fast. It's going to be an online video course and a book called How to Fast. And the first thing that is in the book is don't even think about fucking fasting unless you are doing the breath work consistently. So like 2 mile breathing, no matter what, like first thing in the morning, last thing before bed, at least like 20 minutes to a half hour, both of those sessions, and breath work in the middle of the day. A great way to start a longer one is to take like Breathwork Boot Camp. It's a 9-day program, and what you can do is when you sign up. So now the January classes have concluded, and now as of 2 days ago, the April classes have concluded. So when you sign up, the next class is in July. It starts on July 11th, and now as you sign up for the July wave, you get the recordings from all of the classes from January and April. So if you wanted to do a fast, my best recommendation is to actually just start, like sign up and watch the recordings and take the class with the recording. And then in a couple weeks, and that's 9 days. So you can fast for 9 days while you take the program and do the guided breathworks on the recordings from class. And then whenever you're ready for another one, you can take another 9-day fast and do the April wave of the recordings and take the class like that. And then for a third one, you're actually in the class for July. And all of that, the basic package. So that comes included, all those recordings come included, and that comes with the ebook.
Okay, because you have 2 different packages, right? One is the one where you get all the past recordings, is that right?
Yeah, one is basic and one is deluxe. They both come with all the recordings. Both packages come with all the recordings, but don't come with all the ebooks and the ability to take the classes again. So like if you take deluxe, you're basically getting, you have the opportunity to take infinite classes like in the future for free.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and the
That's
basic
great.
is just like one time, like you're only getting one round in the previous recordings. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, that's about to change though soon because I'm about to come out with 2 new levels of Breathwork Bootcamp. So there's going to be 3 levels of Breathwork Bootcamp. The novice one, the transformational breathers is level 2, and then um, elite inner space astronauts, that's level 3. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, there's going to be one every month. So right now, I'm only doing level 1, and that's every 3 months. So January, April, July, October, and then in between, it's going to be like every month is the next level. So it's like January is level 1, February is level 2, March is level 3, April's level 1, May is
Mm-hmm.
level 2, June is level 3, and so on throughout the year. And then I'm going to switch it from, there's going to be no more basic and deluxe package. It's basically just going to be a spectator package and a live package. So a spectator package is just
Mm-hmm.
for the recordings for people who can't make the classes and who aren't going to be like live on the Zoom, but still want to be a part of the program and still get the recordings. So that's going to be a little
Mm-hmm.
cheaper for those who can't make the class, because this last round I had like 75 people sign up for the class, but really only like 35 people who were actually in the live Zoom class. So people signed up like
Mm-hmm.
knowing they weren't make the class, but just to get the recordings. So in the future, I want to make
Mm-hmm.
a package for them to not have to spend as much money. And then the
Mm-hmm.
live is just going to be, obviously for those who are going to be in the live class. And there's going to be limited seats in the actual Zoom class, and then unlimited spectator spots. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody can spectator and get the recordings, but to keep the class small enough where it's more of like an intimate group,
Mm-hmm.
going to be limits, and each level is going to have its own limit. I want to say level 1 is going to be 33 people, and then level 2 is 21 people, and then level 3 is only 9 people for
Mm-hmm.
the group. So that's the amount of spots that are going to be in it for every month. Now the next wave of level 1 is in July, so there's no classes until July unless you do the recordings, and then
Mm-hmm.
after July and August, that's going to be the first level 2, and then in September that's going to be the first level 3.
Mm-hmm. I
So
see. But you can still get the simple package now and study the previous ones until July, and then when July comes, you can join live.
exactly. And then if you buy the deluxe for now, that's just going to get you a spot in level 2 for free.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
yeah, so that's how I'm going to like even it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then um what's it called? So you got to take level 1 in order to take level 2, and there's going to be an exam at the end of level 1 in order, like if you want to sign up for level 2, you got to basically like submit an application for level 2 and level 3, so that like I know that you're ready, because I only really want to work with people for those higher levels, for people who are ready for it. So you got to take level 1 first, and like for level 3 you got to take level 2 first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, way up, and then like level 3 is going to be like all the crazy shit. So like once people have like really been familiar with the breathwork that I'm teaching and have been practicing it and are ready to like move on to like the crazy shit, that's
Mm-hmm.
what that's for.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we can answer more questions here, but I have another question about breath work. So, I do design work by day. I work for an architecture company, and time management is a thing for me. And I know, like, to get the best results from this breath work, you need to practice maybe an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening. But I also do biking for an hour every day, and I'm wondering, like, I try to incorporate conscious breath work while I'm exercising, but I wanted to ask you about that. I know, like, breath work requires some certain postures and locking, and maybe it's harder to do that while you're exercising, but do you recommend conscious breath work while you're like running or biking, and so that we can save some time on the breath work, or at least incorporate it while we are doing other stuff, or even if someone is like doing calisthenics or something, any
Yeah.
interest. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before I answer that, there is one thing that I want to say, because people are talking in the comments. I don't
Yes.
recommend water by itself, but you could fast on any other liquid. So if you're not fasting on water, you can fast on herbal tea that you use water to make. You can fast on coconut water. You could fast on green juices. In my book, Death Style to Lifestyle Transition Guide for $33 on my online store, that has my whole approved and non-approved foods list. On there, you'll find all the herbs that I recommend on there. So it's a pretty big list. There's a lot of good herbs out there. But yeah, you can do herbal teas. You could fast on your urine. You could fast on, you could do a fruit fast. You could do just only fruit for a period of time. You could do a smoothie fast. I mean, technically those aren't fasts because you're not in ketosis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, don't eat your poop, guys. Please.
Oh my God, I know this guy, YouTuber tells about that. He started looping his own urine and also drinking his semen and everything, but he also says that he's been eating his poop for good bacteria.
I mean, shit. If you're only fruit and you're only eating like whatever, then like maybe I guess. But like shit. I mean, if you're pooping it out, you shouldn't have ate it in the first place. Your body's pooping it out because it didn't want it. Like the colon is where the actual waste comes out.
Yeah.
The-
Yeah, I mean,
the-
I guess that's like one thing that I won't try because I mean, we've studied like everything that comes from the frontal side of your body is clean, right? Whether it's your saliva, breast milk, semen, urine, but like there's one exit for the waste, and that's the rear. So, like, I don't think we need it. Like, if you want to get good bacteria, just age your urine, and the good bacteria in that like multiplies in millions and zillions, and you just loop that. So. But yeah, I have friends that even like use it for like face mask, you know. I mean, they're experimental and I appreciate that. You know, we were
yeah.
there at some point with urine, you know, we thought it's waste, right? We were all there and then we broke it up. So like, you know, I'm not close to anything, but I'm also suspicious about that.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, my poop doesn't smell bad. Like my poop kind of smells good, but it's not like I like would like touch it or take it out of the toilet. I mean, I don't know, but as of now, I don't feel a need, and I don't really see it being part of the breatharian process at all.
Yeah.
Um, it's yeah. I mean, you can give it back to the land. It's cool because
Mhm.
it's food is what you
Yeah.
took from the place, so just give it back.
Yeah, that's what the land needs. The seeds that we ingested from the fruits, we got to give it back to the land and circulate it that way.
And I mean, ideally, we're not really supposed to use toilets. Like, I haven't peed in a toilet in like a year. Like, I literally refuse to pee
Yeah,
in a toilet.
me
Um,
too. I always save it or drink it, so I never use the toilet to pee in it. That's the real waste.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's only waste when you waste it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even like when I'm in the DR, like at home, like pooping outside more than I'm pooping in the toilet. Like, just because
Uh,
like better that like just the way it's supposed to be.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not home anyway all day except like at the end of the day. So usually like unless it's like a first thing in the morning, like I wake up and I got to shit, then I'll go to the bathroom. But like otherwise, if I'm out and about, like I ain't going home to go to the bathroom, or I ain't looking for a public bathroom to go to the bathroom. I'm just finding a spot where nobody's looking.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But Jerome says it's fertilizer, and it's exactly what it is. It's compost. So,
And when you're clean, like when you're actually not eating garbage, your poop like you don't have to like you shouldn't need to use toilet paper. Like you
mhm.
shouldn't need toilet paper at all.
Yeah.
And your poop should be 2 seconds. Like literally, you squat, you let it all out, you're done. Like that's it. And you
Yeah.
can wipe your ass with your hand and confirm it's already clean.
Mm-hmm. True.
No, no shit on. And I mean, in general, also like if you did need to use toilet paper still, while you're not in a bathroom,
Mhm.
use your pee. So like literally like pee on your hand and use that to clean your ass, and then pee on your hand again to clean your hand.
Oh yeah. Yeah, or on a toilet paper. But on
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
yeah.
you could pee on toilet paper too. That
Yeah.
that's a stepping stone as well.
I know
Um,
it's really good for people who are suffering from like hemorrhoids and stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What
Yeah.
else? So
Go ahead and answer some more questions. How much coconut water are you drinking per day?
so the only brand of coconut water that I would recommend, other than Nature's brand, like straight from
Mhm.
the coconut itself off the tree, is Harmless Harvest. And this
Mhm.
stuff isn't even that great. It's not like the best, but it's like this is like borderline like acceptable, like the absolute
Mhm.
bare minimum of acceptable that I would consider for
Mhm.
coconut water.
Is that
Um,
considered as pasteurized or still fresh?
this is raw. It's not
Oh,
pasteurized.
oh,
They definitely put sugar in it. Not gonna lie, because like it tastes like super sugary compared to. real coconuts, and you can definitely taste the difference. But you could tell it's raw because it's pink, and the pinkness actually is part of the decaying process of the coconut. If you look at a real coconut
Mm-hmm.
and you cut them, they decay, they turn pink, then they turn brown, then they turn black. It's part of the
Mm-hmm.
decaying process.
Right,
So
right. I heard.
that's raw because they didn't boil it to stop it from dying. It actually is dying, but it's at the point where it's like basically like overripe, and that's why it's sweet.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, so there's a couple of other body fluids that I want to talk about with you because I got so
Yeah,
enlightened
your
by
other question about the
what?
breathwork, biking and stuff. You want me to answer that first?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I forgot. Please.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, when it comes to exercise, exercise is breathwork. It's basically like forced breathwork.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to do, but I wouldn't say that that replaces your Tumo session because that's sympathetic nervous system breathwork. You
Mm-hmm.
want to be you
Parasympathetic.
like the key is the parasympathetic breathwork.
Mm-hmm.
So you really want to close your eyes and do the locks and
Mm-hmm.
benefit from the parasympathetic nervous system, writing your own code.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say that exercise like doing calisthenics or running or going on the bike is a bad thing or that it's
Mm-hmm.
not breath work. It is breath work and it will help you. It's better to do that shit than to not do that shit, at
Mm-hmm.
least while in the process of detoxing and whatnot. However, the parasympathetic breath work is really where it's at, and the workouts don't replace that.
Right. Okay. Wow.
So,
That's good info. Thank you for that.
you're eating through your whole workout. And also post workout breath sessions are key. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it like 3 times. Breath work post workout. Breath work post workout. Breath work post work. Full breath work. Tumo every single time after you work out. Do a breath work session. It is more important than the workout itself, and more important than eating after your workout. You should
Mm-hmm.
never eat right after a workout like they tell you. Like get the protein in a half hour after your workout before whatever. That's
Uh-huh.
bullshit. Protein is bad for you. Don't ever eat protein if you care about yourself. And breathe after your workout. That's all that you need.
Yeah.
All proteins are synthesized in the body in the parasympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And when you consume it from an animal or from a plant, plant protein is just as bad for you as animal protein. You have to break it down into amino acids and then break those amino acids down into carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have to take those elements, those arrangements of light, and you have to rearrange them now back into amino acids and then back into a protein that is designed for you. Every species of plants and animals create proteins for themselves to hold their own structure together. And that doesn't align with your structure. So unless you're eating human protein, it's not doing anything for you. And I don't recommend eating human protein because you make it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. I mean,
read my book
protein in itself is
that
acidifying too. Like when, fruits go into the metabolic reaction, the ashes that the fruits leave are alkalizing, but protein is acidifying. And doesn't matter if it's like plant protein or anything else, because we know that legumes, grains, these are all acid. Yeah, I mean, the ashes that they leave after going through the metabolic reaction is acidifying to the body. So yeah, you're just not doing much good to yourself. But after an exercise, it's just doing the breath work is like re-energizing the body and introducing all the elements that you need from the air. I think that feels like the speaking of which, yawning.
protein lowers the energy in the system. It blocks energy. Protein is glue. Protein holds shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So protein is not designed for energy, and your muscles need energy to recover and grow,
Mm-hmm.
and they need electricity. The muscle is made of blood, and blood is made of breath. So why are you eating protein?
Mm-hmm.
The protein is nowhere in that equation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes
So
so much sense. Protein is the thing that puts it together. It's like a glue. It's the thing that gives the shape to an apple or a banana, like, right?
yeah,
So,
it
mm-hmm.
allows things to take form, and it glues it,
Mm-hmm.
it holds it
It
together.
holds things
Which
together.
is a bad thing, but it's not food. It's not something that you're supposed to necessarily be eating.
Mm-hmm.
Or a nutrient. Like the fact that you're counting how much protein you're eating for like thinking you need a certain amount like makes no sense. It's literally just lack market.
It's just like minerals, because the body makes all the minerals itself too. You're not supposed to supplement with inorganic minerals from outside, externally. Your body already makes it. You just have to clean out the obstructions from the body so that your body can actually make it. Because if you
Exactly.
have the obstructions, then your body, yes, doesn't make it. But putting outside sources doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, so that, and you got to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, because that's when your body creates these arrangements of light. When your
Mineral.
body only codes in the
Mhm.
parasympathetic nervous system, then when you're in the sympathetic nervous system and you're awake and you're up and about doing shit, you're in the sympathetic nervous system. That's when you're running code that you wrote in the parasympathetic nervous system. So
Mhm.
more information about this in my book, Organic AI, like full explanation of how nutrient synthesis works from a computer analogy standpoint. And that's a super interesting one. That's actually my favorite book that I've ever written, is Organic AI. So definitely check that one out. And there's an audio book on there too. But I basically explained the whole perspective of how the parasympathetic nervous system is so important, and how nutrient synthesis and protein synthesis and mineral synthesis, vital mineral, all comes into the one perspective, and how the breath work is the key to all nourishment.
Oh,
Um, urine therapy, a little bit about urine therapy in there too, but honestly, like, urine therapy is secondary to the breath work.
breath
However,
work. Yeah.
is absolutely necessary to go on the breatharian path. You'll never be a breatharian if you don't practice urine therapy. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You'll never fully get to the point of sustaining no liquids, no food,
Mhm.
until you drink your pee.
Yeah. That's
Stop peeing.
definitely my truth too. But I wonder if every breatharian practiced it, like Elita Malamin. I wonder if he did that too.
Ellen does it. We talked about it on my
Oh, yeah.
live a little.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um,
So there's one more thing that I want to touch base on regarding the body fluids. Last week you taught me something so important for me, and I tried it. Like, I had tried it a couple of weeks before meeting you, and I know it's true in my heart, which is, drinking my moon blood and during urine therapy. And we always talk about this, like the frontal side of the body is for conception. Everything that comes from the frontal side is clean, sterile. But when it comes to my blood, I always had this, even though I've been practicing UT for 4 years, I had this like judgment against it. Oh, I can't drink my blood, but then I did. For the first time, it was mixed with my urine, and I had it. It was like orange color, and the thing is, it tasted sweeter for some reason. Like, my urine doesn't taste sweet at all. It tastes like either plain or like kind of like, I don't know, sometimes bitter, but not really sweet. But this time it was really sweet. And so I enjoyed drinking it. It was all okay. But then afterwards, oh my God, it was like being in an ayahuasca session or something. I was going through so much emotional stuff that I had to do breath work and like Kundalini moves and, all things that I knew in order to release that. And I was like, wow, like, I can't even believe how strong this is. Like, I've been practicing aged urine and urine, I do 5 gallons aged urine enemas and rub it on my skin, drink it, loop it, everything. And yet I didn't touch my blood. And now I'm drinking it and I'm seeing this incredible detox effect from it. And I was just like so, surprised. And but I embraced it, and I feel like it really helped me to detox on a very deep level, and I'm never ever gonna miss it again. To all the ladies out there who are practicing UT, if you were scared like me, just jump right into it. It's the best thing ever. And the thing is, usually even though I'm on liquids, I still get my period, and it usually takes like 3 to 4 days. But after drinking my own moon blood, my period just stopped, and it took me only 1 day, which was another like surprising thing to me. I felt like, oh, maybe it detoxed me so much that I don't even need to bleed anymore, and it just
yeah,
stopped on the very first day.
yeah. And for women with bleeding on their menstrual cycle, it's kind of the same thing as far as an energy loss as men when they ejaculate.
Mm-hmm.
So we lose our Jing energy from the ejaculation, and women lose theirs from menstruating. So looping your period blood is essentially the same deal for men as it is to like loop their semen. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you be tantric and you're trying to learn how to, you know, retain your seed and you do spill seed by accident, I recommend that men drink it the same way that if you are still menstruating, you still are bleeding on your period, even though you know the goal is to eventually stop bleeding, you still are bleeding, drink it,
Mm-hmm.
loop that.
Yeah, because it's you.
So
Mm-hmm.
there was one thing that I wanted to mention. Somebody said, Jerome said, I would tend to disagree that UT is the only path to being chronic. You can get to the top of the mountain by climbing a different side. And honestly, I have to rebut that a little bit because you can get almost to the top of the mountain by climbing any side, but there's only one way to the tippy top, and you got to do UT. Because if you don't do UT, you can't train your bladder and kidneys to reabsorb properly. And if your bladder and kidneys are not reabsorbing properly and you're not looping internally your blood, then you can't sustain breatharianism. There's no way to do it. Now, being chronic and being in the breatharian state are two different things. You can be chronic, like I'm chronic right now. Everybody is. Your main source of nourishment is and always has been the breath, more than
Right.
anything you've ever in your whole life. So you already are being fueled by prana. The electricity in the environment around you is fueling your very existence. Without electricity, you wouldn't be alive. And the electricity is everywhere all around you, from the sun to the ground to other humans touching you, anything. That's
Mm-hmm.
all. That's all electricity, and that's all food. Music is food. So to be pranic is different from being breatharian because we're all pranic. But when I say breatharian, I'm saying that we are in a state of full alchemical mode, like a life of complete full ease, free of lack, free of need. And in order to be in that state, you do need to do UT for a period of time until you stop peeing in order to actually train your bladder and kidneys to do it. Otherwise, you're still going to be pissing because your bladder and kidneys aren't absorbing, and then you're still losing blood plasma. You're still pissing your life away. So without UT, there's really no sustainable path to breatharianism. And
Mm-hmm.
anybody who tells you otherwise isn't there and won't get there. Like even Taylor, somebody's commented, the holistic gangsta commented, Taylor doesn't fuck with UT. What do I think about that? And I don't know why Taylor's never given it a try. But I mean,
I know he
he,
said that like when you loop your water, you're circulating your emotions.
yeah,
Yeah.
which would be a good thing because if you're pissing out your emotions, that means you're basically like getting rid of what's for you, emotions that you're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
process, getting over. And by doing that, you're kind of inviting trauma back to you to give you back that energy anyway. So it's kind of delaying the process of
Wow,
the
such a good explanation. Yeah.
by avoiding the emotion that's in your urine. You're basically like avoiding the inevitable, and it's going to come back to you one way or another. It's like you didn't learn the lesson. So
Because it's like the perfect biofeedback for you to learn your
exactly.
lesson. Yeah.
So as far as that goes, and I mean he said like maybe I'll try it when I'm watarian, when he's like just on water and sustaining that. I can't see
Mm-hmm.
being water as that sustainable because the water isn't alive. So I could see maybe coconut water being more sustainable. But Taylor's done most of his longest stuff like on juices and on like liquids, coconut water. He's like a
Mm-hmm.
main water guy. Like basically where I'm at right now is where Taylor's been at most of the time. And he's dabbled with dry fasting and stuff, but he hasn't done the urine therapy to get to the dry fasting point. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could say whatever, but I mean, anybody who hasn't done the urine therapy hasn't really sustained it. Anybody who has actually sustained breatharianism, like Elatom, has done
Mm-hmm.
the
Sorry, you got cut off. Has done?
urine therapy. Yeah,
Oh, it does done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
like
Wow, I didn't know
anymore.
Elton did that.
Yeah, like he doesn't still do it anymore because he doesn't have to because he's actually in the
Yeah.
breatharian state. He's not or drinking, so he's not peeing. So he's not doing
Mm-hmm.
like body is doing the urine therapy for him.
For him, yeah, exactly. I mean, there must be other ways to, like Jerome said, get to the top of the mountain. But I mean, in my opinion, it's like the easiest way because it's the structured water, like breaks up all the, the obstructions in the body that it becomes so much easier. Like I've been looping so much over the last year, and I see my consumption of food or liquids has gone down like from, I don't know, 80% to 10% or something. So It's definitely one of the best efficient ways, in my opinion.
Nick, avoid absolute statements, please. Please just speak on your own experience. Nobody wants your parroted info. All right, I don't know who I'm parroting this info from, but I mean, I've definitely worked with thousands of people, cured every disease pretty much there is, HIV, AIDS, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, name it. So, I mean, this is not just, I don't only speak on my own personal experience because my personal experience deals with thousands of other people's personal experience that I've guided them through, and I've seen some crazy shit. And yeah, this is all of my experience. So if I'm speaking on anything, I'm not just speaking out my ass here. Don't get it twisted.
Someone's asking, how are you going to get rid of blockages without urine therapy? I
I
guess
mean,
with astringent fruit juices. That's what I would say.
yeah, I mean, I don't really recommend fruit juice unless you're over 90 days in a fast, especially if it's your first one.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Personally, for me, like I wouldn't drink fruit juice until I'm like at least 30 days in with no fats, like no nut milks or like anything. But
Mm-hmm.
that's because like you need like you don't want to be consuming all that sugar but no fiber, and you're just
Mm-hmm.
like you're at that point, and you're basically just brewing ethanol in your system,
Mm-hmm.
because plaque on the system. Like if you still have blockages to get out, those blockages are stopping the absorption of sugar and you're fermenting into alcohol in the heat of the system.
Mm-hmm.
So you really would rather do green juices over the fruit juices, which I mean there's still sugar in them, but significantly less than the fruit juices. And then you can mess with like the teas. So like for blockages, you could do
Yeah.
like any kind of herbs like sarsaparilla, burdock, yellow dock, red clover. Specifically for the bowels and the GI tract, you can mess with like Cascara sagrada, wormwood, rhubarb root powder, and these are intense herbs, so don't be taking these every day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you can take like psyllium husk, bentonite clay, activated charcoal, diatomaceous earth, all those things for getting blockages. Hot water, and just straight up hot water,
Mm-hmm.
with kind of herb in it. Like what? Obviously, I don't recommend drinking water, but anything that you would use with water, like anything hot. So like if you're gonna make a nut milk, make it hot. If you're gonna make like whatever an herbal tea or a whatever, make it hot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your warm urine, but we're talking about without therapy. So you can do enemas with distilled water. I mean, it's not as good as doing it with urine because again, it's not living. So you're not gonna like your colon absorbs. So when you do an enema with your urine, you're absorbing nutrients from the urine at the same time that it's taking out the blockages. So it's an even exchange rather than water is just taking, coffee is just taking even more. Don't
Mm-hmm.
even think about using coffee in enema, guys. Please, like for your own sake, like just don't do it.
Coffee is a
Absolutely.
neurotoxin, and even if you take it from the other end, you're like intoxicating yourself with neurotoxins. So yeah.
Straight
I mean,
up.
it is
Seen li-
opening the channels of liver where the liver is pushing out more toxins, but you're still toxifying yourself with neurotoxins. So, and I agree with you 100% on the fats. I think fats are very mucus forming and also creating like more blockages. So like I let go of the fats maybe like a year ago. I never even had any like avocado, coconut meat, nothing, which allows me to be on the fruit juices. Otherwise I think my body would just reject it because it would ferment, or my like cell wall wouldn't allow the fruit to be diffused into the cell, because the fats would be blocking all the insulin receptors and so on. So yeah, getting rid of the fats is key in my opinion, into starting detoxification and like dissolving all those hardened matter in the body.
Definitely. So someone asked why Taylor and Elaton look so muscular and why I look very skinny. You clearly haven't seen me work out because I'm definitely shredded. And if you looked at me like naked, you would definitely think otherwise. Um, and by the way, Taylor's like a solid foot taller than me. Like
Yeah, me.
Taylor actually towers over me.
Mhm. I don't think doing like gaining muscle, it has anything to do with the diet. I mean, I'm not obviously the expert when it comes to bodybuilding, but I mean, I've listened to L-melamine so many times, and Jerome told me how L-melamine explained how you make muscle. Like you just lift up the chair and then put the chair back and lift it up again. Like it's all about how much effort you put into exercising, like building the muscle. That's how you build it. You actually build it off of air.
you have to use the muscle to build the muscle. And I mean, to be honest, like I haven't been working out like I used to be working out. So like I've been working more to get information to you guys, writing books, making video courses, like focusing more on the detox and not really the building aspect right now. And I'm still years into the process of detoxing and I'm still not ready to build yet. So if the focus is on building muscle, you're looking too far ahead. You're not in the now. You can't possibly like expect that without like being in the now. Taylor's been doing this for 15 years. Like Elaton's been doing this for decades. So like, you know, it's not like they've had time to do all of their cleansing and then build, where I'm still earlier in my stage and I'm still cleansing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, either way, like if I work out hard for a month, like I'll see results insane compared to anyone else. It really just
Mm-hmm.
depends on the level of working out. And honestly, like the way that I see it, it's like working out like that isn't really beneficial even because I got nothing to prove to myself or nothing to prove to anybody. If I work out, it's because it's fun and I'm celebrating the fact that my body works. Like I'm climbing a tree because I want to climb it. I'm going surfing because I want to surf. It's not like I do anything because I want to get ripped or I want to get big. It's kind of like insecurity, like at its finest for that. So it's not like I'm going to try to get big to prove to you guys that this shit is legit, because if any of you guys don't want to go through this process, don't go through it. I literally will not lose a second of sleep. I barely sleep anyway.
Oh. So here's another question. As far as the maturing procedure goes, should it be covered right away or is it better to let it breathe? I want to comment on this before I get your answer. I think you can't go wrong with anything you do with urine, you know. I think there's no way, but I think the best way is like storing it in a glass and letting it breathe. So, but I think even if you close the bottle, then it would still age, the stem cells still would multiply in number, and you would still get a ton of benefit from drinking it. So, but yeah, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. Either way, it's kind of fine. Personally, I like to seal mine. And one thing that I would like to share from personal experience and that other people have kind of confirmed for me is like, depending on where you're storing it, you might want to seal it, because if it's like outside or something and it's not covered at least with like a screen or like a, I forget what, like a cheesecloth or whatever, um,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want bugs getting in there. So like
Oh, yeah.
I've stored it without a lid because I didn't have a lid, and you see like little worms in there and like shit getting in there,
Oh,
like bugs in there, and they reproduce in there. So like you don't really want to be drinking that.
mm-hmm.
So it
No, I
really depends.
think it would definitely be closed, like, but letting it breathe, I mean, with a cloth, not like open
Yeah,
bottle.
that's not the end of the world. But honestly, like I just when in doubt, just close it. Like, you know, it's not like I haven't really noticed any specific benefit from doing it open, like from drinking it from the
Mm-hmm.
way I'm sorting it, like from using it in every way possible. It doesn't absorb faster. I've timed it. I would say like basically you want more importantly than open versus closed is sunlight versus not sunlight. You want your urine as it ages to get in the sunlight ideally, and if not, you kind of want it in complete darkness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Okay. And what about the temperature? Some people prefer to put it in the freezer. They say it's ages faster. Some people keep it in under the sunlight.
Yeah. I would, yeah, it collects energy faster. So, like I said, with the blood, the electricity fuels the separation of charges, right? So, as that happens in the urine, the same thing. The sunlight is the electricity that it uses to separate the charges. So, you'll see the sediment comes in faster, the urine is aging, the stem cells are reproducing. All the processes of maturing urine are sped up through putting it in the sun and also putting it on the ground, grounding it too, and also like being around it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like actually physically touching the jar with both of your hands is literally giving it an electrical current. So all of those things are not necessary, but beneficial, helpful. Um,
Beneficial. Yeah. Okay.
um, so there's a couple other things that
Yeah.
people said. But he said, when you reach the top of the mountain, do breathwork sessions become as necessary? Yeah, they become more necessary, and they become less forced. When you're at that point, when you're at the top of the mountain, you are pretty much everything is a breath session. You're confident. You're aware or conscious of your breathing at all times. So even like at the point I'm at now, like no matter what I'm doing, I'm pretty much conscious of my breathing the whole time. Breathing through my nose, breathing as slow as possible. Like breath work never becomes not important. And again, breath work is still number one to UT, but UT is very important, necessary number two. There is no one thing that's going to take you there. Breath work is the number one most important thing to take you there.
Yeah.
UT and rehydration and fasting are also going to take you there, but you need
Mm-hmm.
all of it. you can't, it's a holistic journey. If you want to holistically heal and holistically get to a state of
You have to
holistic,
incorporate.
you need to do all of it. So there's no,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not ready to commit to the full thing, then you're not ready for the destination. And it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of gratification, like Western type attitude when it comes to that. Like, we don't have to attach to the expectation or the identifying with whatever stage we're at. It's like not about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I
Could
100%
you
agree.
do tea while still eating legumes and grains? Yeah, you can still do it. It's just gonna taste like shit. It'll still be beneficial for you. It'll still help you. It'll make you not want the legumes and grains as much, but you can still do it, definitely. It's not like it's not safe.
Yeah.
Um, let's
Even if you're
see.
on the worst diet ever, you can still do it and get benefits from it. But it's not gonna taste as good, so you might as well eat cleaner so you
Yep,
can enjoy the journey.
exactly. Might as well not force it and enjoy it and make it more gentle. And that's
Yeah.
where the breathwork comes to. Like, the breathwork makes you want to fast. It's not like the fasting shouldn't be hard. It's something that you should want to do. You shouldn't fast because you think you should fast. You should fast because you are so nourished by the breath that you don't want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
what
Not
happens
eating is like
when?
an outcome of doing so much breath work, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what happens to the body when you lose sperm? A lot of things. I mean, you're losing a pint of blood that takes about 70 days to replace what's lost. You're messing up your cranial sacral rhythm for potentially months. It's basically like losing a lightning bolt of electricity through the body. The sperm has trillions of sperm cells. Each sperm cell is capable of growing an entire human being. So all that energy, all that potential power is being lost, and all that regenerative power to the body is being lost. There's a lot, and I wrote about this in my How to Breathe book, and it's in the course. You learn it in Breathwork Bootcamp. Level 2, it's going to be in there, semen retention and the sacred
Mm-hmm.
secretion. I'll probably do a YouTube video on that too, and I'm doing a live at some point with Esoteric Alchemist, my boy Seth. We've been meaning to get on live at some point when we find time and do a semen retention
Mm-hmm.
live for you guys. Let's see what else. What's my favorite green juice? I like dandelion cucumber. That's my go-to. Dandelion green and cucumber. Cucumber's the only fruit.
Dandelions are great for the liver, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're bitter herbs.
Yeah, and I like cilantro too. I throw cilantro in there sometimes for that like metal.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Oh yeah, this brought me to another question I had. So I know you're always like advocating the holistic health detox approach, but let's say somebody is, suffering from mental diseases, which we all know that they are usually are there because of the heavy metals in the brain area. Like, is there any specific like detox programs that you're also suggesting to your clients?
yeah. So I mean, I have specific protocols for Alzheimer's and dementia and other stuff like that, as far as like brain conditions like that. And then there's also different ones for anxiety. I mean, different ones for depression. There, because it's not all about the brain. I mean, your gut is your brain. If you unravel the intestines and you unravel the brain, they look exactly the same. So like, one
Mm-hmm.
isn't more than the other when it comes to mental diseases, and most mental diseases, when it comes to that, are usually gut related more than they are brain related.
Yeah, it's all related. Liver, your gut, your brain, they're all connected. But
Yep.
what would you say on aged urine detoxing you from heavy metals? Or do you also incorporate other things like zeolite, I don't know, like cilantro or
Um,
maybe
you don't need any of that shit. The aged urine will definitely do it, especially if you're taking the aged urine with the sediment. Like I said, the sediment
Mhm.
is that it's super electronegative, the sediment, so it's basically like a magnet that's going to pull everything out of your body that doesn't belong. So like the aged urine sediment is really the key to heavy metal detox and the key
Mhm.
to like into the crevices of shit that's like
Wow.
that won't get, that cilantro won't get, that like no food, no external substance is ever going to get you to.
Wow, this is such crucial info because I've been wasting that sediment the whole time until now. But yeah, there's nothing bad in the urine, guys. You can ingest it all, every bit of it,
Yeah.
and you'll get so much benefits. That's the. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, what?
if there was something in your urine that was going to hurt you or kill you, it would have already done it because it's already been through every
In your
vein.
blood.
It's already
Yeah,
been through your entire body before it gets to your urine. So, like, if it was going to hurt you, it would have already hurt you.
yeah, true. So
Um, let's shoot. Any other questions? We're probably getting. Does it give you the warning on the time yet?
No,
Because we're definitely
because
close.
Instagram extended it to 4 hours. We are
Did
only,
they?
yeah.
Well, no way. Because I used to always get fucking cut off on lives, and like it would just give me no warning and just cut me off, and I'd be like, damn.
I know. Used
But
to be 1 hour, but for the last couple of months, it's been like 4 hours. So we can go forever if you want. It's just I have a meeting coming up, but there's also this.
yeah.
I mean, we can answer more questions if you like, but there's also this 1 minute game that I want to play with you.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm good with that because then I gotta go. I'm going to the sauna today too again.
Oh, nice. I love that place. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay. Do it.
here's the thing. I have written like 30 words. It's a 1 minute game. I'm just gonna say the word, and you can say whatever you know that resonates to you, like whatever you associate with that word. It can be
Okay.
something that's like totally unrelated. It doesn't have to make sense all the time. Whatever comes to your mind the very first time, you know, the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay. I like that. So is it like I'm saying one word back, or I can say like whatever?
Well, you can respond with one word or a phrase, or you can even stop the game and say, I want to bring an explanation to that. Either way, you know?
Word.
But
Before we
yeah,
start, I asked what happened to the Dominican Republic. I still live there. I'm just back in Jersey for 2 weeks because I came home to visit my mom for her birthday. All right. Let's get it.
okay, so I have this like 1 minute thing.
All
I'm
right.
gonna rotate. Okay, so, sorry, I'm getting a call. Okay, so here we go. Ready?
Flip.
Okay, fresh urine,
Food.
aged urine,
Medicine.
mushrooms,
Drugs.
cooked food,
Heroin.
heroin, honey,
Uh, drugs.
distilled water,
Um. Ooh. Um. Dead cleaning supplies.
cheese,
Heroin.
breathwork,
Life.
soy,
What was that one?
soy, SOY,
Soy. Lab chemicals.
potatoes, starch.
Um, man-made garbage.
How about sweet potatoes?
Also man-made garbage.
Okay. Glucose,
Drugs.
fructose.
Drugs.
Sun gazing.
uh,
Okay, another one. What's that?
studying. Sun gazing.
Grounding,
Food.
dry brushing,
Um, fun.
butthole sunning, tanning, or
Food.
sunning. Food, green juices,
Food.
green powders,
Dead garbage.
Himalayan sea salt,
Drugs. The most dangerous drug on earth is Himalayan pink salt.
superfoods.
Uh, Electricity.
Okay, and the next word is electric.
Superfood.
Fermented foods,
Death.
sea moss,
Dehydrating.
zeolite.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, breast milk,
Urine.
semen retention,
Immortality.
moon blood.
Immortality.
Cool, you made the game. We are out of time, but it's okay.
This was fun. I like this shit.
I just wanted you to say like whatever comes to your mind first, you know, because so much good stuff comes out of this game. I love playing this game.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've never had anyone go through that with me. But yeah, that was a
Okay.
quick way to go through a lot.
Yeah, we did a lot, and there's still more that I want to cover with you, like about the, viruses and exosomes, like if they're contagious, da da da. I've been studying Tom Cohen's books as well, and like there's so much
No,
stuff to talk about, but I know we can't, of course, like fit them all in one session. But yeah, we'll do it again. And yeah, thank you so much for saving your time and energy onto coming this live. I appreciate every single thing you shared so much. I resonate with like everything you say. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you everyone for joining. My gosh, we had like at some point 80 people
yeah, we had
joining.
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was great. Thank you for your energy, everyone, for being here, for your questions, and for keeping the conversation going. Yes.
thank you for the questions. You made this a lot like more fun.
Oh,
So
thank
yeah, thank. And yeah, while I'm here, if you want to pop over to the sauna, we're going today. I'll probably be there today and tomorrow. So if you guys want to come through, let me
Oh
know.
yeah, you're gonna be there tomorrow. I probably can't make it today, but tomorrow I might. Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, and I mean, I bought that like 10 pass thing, so I still have like I think 5 or 6 left. So while I'm here for the 2 weeks, I'm going to be going like a lot. So if you ever want to go, let me know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Why not? It's just 40 minutes from my place.
Yeah, I know a couple people are coming today, and a couple people are coming tomorrow. So we'll have like a little group to chill tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yay.
All right. Hold on one
Awesome.
sec. What was your question about herbal teas? Is it not raw? How does it make sense? Animals are all raw. Oh, well, I mean, if you're using leaves for herbal teas, you don't want to heat above 115 degrees. So you still want to keep it raw if you're messing with leaves. But if you're doing the roots, it's a different story because you're not necessarily cooking it. It's not the Maillard effect. So when you cook food, the Maillard effect is what happens sometimes when you heat specific like arrangements of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen into like above a certain temperature. You have the Maillard effect, which is basically what makes cooked food like heroin to the brain. That's why when you said cooked food, I said heroin because it
Mm-hmm.
literally is heroin and it
So
dehydrates. It's like one of the possible in the body. The Maillard effect doesn't take place when you boil herbs, root herbs.
mm-hmm.
So
I
yeah,
find it best to like. Sorry.
I was supposed to. I had to take one, but like I didn't really do it because the thing, like I made her like give it to me to do it myself, and then I was like, "Where do you want it to go up my nose?" And she pointed to the thing, and then when I went to put it in my nose, all I did was slide my finger up the thing and not the thing up my nose, so it never actually even went in my nose. And the lady was like half retarded, so she didn't even notice.
Oh my God, that's such a good tip. That's what I want to do too. Because I
Yeah,
had to
it took
take
like
one.
10 minutes to get her to let me do it myself because like I don't know. It was like you would think that people like speak Spanish because that's their country. So when you speak to them in Spanish, you think they know what you're saying, but sometimes like they still don't know what you're saying even when you're speaking Spanish to them. So like it's like a thing there for some reason. Like a lot of people like they don't even speak their own language that well. But yeah, like literally she had no idea what was going on and she was just like whatever.
Wow,
And
well, you
yeah,
got
the one
lucky.
yeah, and then I got the test back, and I was like, all right, we going home, we good. So I'm definitely gonna try to do that again when I leave this.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try too. That's a perfect advice because
Because
I don't want anything external in my body.
this fucking nose, I was like, there's no fucking way that you're sticking it up my nose. Like if it's getting stuck up my nose, at least I'll do it, and then I'll just go snort Asians in the parking lot. But
Yeah.
like shit, at least like try to finesse it as much as possible. Don't give in until you
Mm.
have to.
Yeah. And definitely, guys, like if you have to do it in one way or another, just loop your aged up on the nose. You can use a neti pot. You can just drink it from the glass. Just make sure you loop it so that it
Yeah,
restores the damage that might have been done up there,
or whatever.
in the blood-brain barrier.
It's some sketchy shit, whatever they're doing, like with that swab, if there's like computer nanotech, whatever that's in there, like
Yeah,
get that shit the fuck right away. But
exactly.
I've never
Yeah.
had to do a test where I actually stuck the thing on my nose ever. No, that was the first time because I moved to the DR right before they started really making tests mandatory for travel, and I
Mhm.
left on purpose for that reason. And I had no intention of coming back, but I just figured, like, I was talking to my dad. We wanted to surprise my mom for her birthday. So I
Mhm.
came back. But yeah, there's no way in hell that that thing is going up my nose. And
So
I
you
know
don't
that they
do it again when you're going back to DR?
I supposed to, but I'm trying to see like what I can do as far as like doing like a different kind of test other than the nose test, like a saliva test or like something like that. That'll be better.
Mm.
Seeing what we could do. But yeah, um, it's yeah, obviously avoid it at all costs. But when in doubt, definitely just rip the fucking aged urine, pull it right back out after it goes in. Whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
Well, those tests are not free. I had to pay $80 fucking for that fucking test.
I know. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
the whole subject is, you know, it's like a joke.
I mean, shit. I'd almost probably rather put the testing thing in my nose than wet cotton. That's just as bad.
Put a cotton ball in those.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all of the fucking the test is nonsense. I mean, you could see. I might post it in the next couple of days, like the video of the guy who actually invented the PCR test, talking about how Fauci and them have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and how the
I
whole
watch.
thing
Yeah.
test was never designed to diagnose a disease, and it doesn't test for a virus because you can't test people for the same virus because it doesn't exist. Like, it's not possible. They test for enzymes. The president of Tanzania, and by the way, the guy who created the PCR test is taking a dirt nap now, coincidentally, and the president of Tanzania, who also now is taking a dirt nap, happened to test a papaya and a mango and a goat all with the PCR test, and they all tested positive. And I mean, I've seen things where like the packaging of the COVID swabs literally have like positive and negative like on the fucking thing, where it's like they already know if it's coming out positive or negative. Or I've heard things that like they turn up the sensitivity of the test and it makes it positive or negative
Positive,
depending.
yeah. Which is why probably some people like make the test only one day apart, and then sometimes or in same day, and they are still getting the symptoms like from days before, but they get negative results and positive results. It's like I don't know which one is true. So like, but yeah,
Yeah, and
all
but
I mean the concept of like exosomes and the fact that the cells excrete these exosomes only when they are poisoned, you know, that the viruses are not that contagious, and like that all like makes sense to me. But at the same time, like when I'm arguing about this subject with my mom, she always goes like, what if then, you know, one person goes to the party and everyone gets sick at the same time? If you're saying that it's not contagious, how come that does that happen? And I don't have an answer for that, if that's true. I mean, do everyone get poisoned at the same time, or I don't know how it works. So
if
I'm
everyone's
still questioning.
sick, I would say, what were they feeding everyone at the party?
Oh,
Or what, you know, was how many phones were at the party? You
how
know,
many
like
5G phones?
how many were at the party, like shit like that. I mean, whatever it is, how many times did they use the microwave at that party, and how many people were standing near that microwave? Like, you know, you've been poisoned. If you all get sick together, you've all been poisoned together. So something at that event poisoned all of you. You didn't catch it from each other. You all got poisoned by the same thing. Now, this, when it comes to the testing and shit, like, it's all bullshit. The entire like thing about testing is bullshit to get people to believe that they have the imaginary fucking thing. And it's the same thing with like the masks. It's all just so that you can still see that it's still happening, because we're not seeing widespread death because it's not happening. You know, nothing, like, there is no pandemic. It's people aren't dying all over the place. You're not like, people aren't, I mean, some people are, but the majority of people are not scared to go outside without a mask on. It's not like that. The mask is like, people are more scared now to go outside without a mask because they don't want to get yelled at or called out and see confrontation that they're not secure enough with themselves to deal with, than they actually think about the disease itself. So, I mean, it really makes no sense. And if you need to wear a mask because your exhales are so contagious, then why the fuck do you need to stick a stick all the way up to my brain through my nose in order to find out if I have it?
Yeah.
Like,
Thank
they don't
you.
even make sense. Like, they're saying a bunch of things that don't make sense, and that also make the other things that don't make sense that they're saying make even less sense. Like, it literally is a whole, like, fuckery sandwich. It makes no sense. And like, not even that. I mean, the fact that you catch an illness, obviously, the making it mandatory, like, it's so retarded. Like, all forced penetration is rape. You know, like, if they're forcing you to be penetrated by a needle or by a fucking nose swab thing, like, that is rape. You can protect
Is
your
it?
body. You know, don't let them rape you.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
makes no sense. And I mean, they can try to say whatever, but I mean, a lot of the things, like, look into more science. Identifying as an employee of the United States corporation definitely limits you and definitely kind of gives them some jurisdiction over you. When you identify as an indigenous to the lands and you declare your nationality and your right as an indigenous to travel despite whatever their fucking bullshit employee rules are, you're not subject to their employee rules. So definitely look into more science and definitely find out about declaring your nationality and not identifying with an employee of the United States corporation so you don't have to follow their stupid fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
Absolutely.
write paperwork and just knowing your shit, knowing what to say. So, um, yeah, that's crazy. Somebody literally told me assholes like you that don't wear masks are the reason my mom died. Like, no, 5G is the reason your mom died. Potatoes are the reason your mom died. Whatever it is, like, you know, anybody who died committed suicide if they died from a disease.
And also the medications that they use at the hospitals are so harsh on the system. I have my doubts about, like, maybe those are the ones that, really breaking up the immune system of the body, if there is one immune system. But
Yeah,
you know,
like people who are dying in the hospitals are getting killed. Like
yeah,
there's been nurses that have came out on videos, like, and posted videos about how, like, they're literally like purposely doing things wrong to kill people, and then
yeah,
put it in autopsy that they died of COVID.
like without understanding what the disease is, like it's so hard for them to find like a cure, and they're applying all these like wrong methods on people, pretty much making them guinea pigs, and then even like breaking up their system even more, where I mean, yeah, it's a sensitive subject, but yeah,
Yeah, and people attach emotions to it now because things are happening to their family members. But like,
yeah,
I've seen videos of nurses saying like, "Yo, like they literally like won't let me tell anybody," and like they literally gave this diabetic guy like so much insulin that he literally died. So like, that's not COVID. Like, they killed him. And like, I've seen like hundreds of videos like this, like, and they put on the autopsy every time. They put on the cause of death as COVID every single time.
yeah.
COVID can't be cured by anything because COVID doesn't exist.
Can COVID be cured by urine?
Yeah, that's basically what made me say that. It's
Um,
nothing can cure because COVID doesn't exist. Um,
But
that's
I
it.
see, like, even if you think of it as a virus, like, because when you're looping your urine, you're actually vaccinating yourself every day. So even if you believe in that, then, you can get on the urine and feel safe. But on the other hand, we think that it's not even a virus. It's just the cells being poisoned, and, cells excreting these exosomes that look like viruses. So
Exactly. Another good question. Why are they killing us? I mean, they're all about population control. You could see, like, you could watch videos about Bill Gates talking about population control because they fall into this illusion of lack. Like, there's not enough resources on the on the planet. Like, that we're like too much of a species for the Earth to handle, as if that's ever been a thing for any species ever. But I mean, it's all that illusion of lack. Think like not embodying the oneness and thinking that like we lack things. Like, there's not enough source because they're not very resourceful. They
mhm.
waste and they fuck everything up, and then they think that like the population is the reason why we don't have a lot of stuff. And it's really just because industries and industrialization and big corporations have basically like fucked everything up. Who taught me all these ideas? I mean, I've had a couple mentors along the way, like Taylor and Devon and whoever, but I mean, I taught myself most of these things. I've been studying myself my whole life. And yeah, I mean, as far as COVID goes, they didn't really teach me any of that shit, just like my own research and my own conclusions, my own understanding of how the body works. Like when you actually help people reverse diseases for a living, it's kind of like when people come out with all this like nonsense about diseases, it's like kind of so obvious in your face. Anybody who understands, like if you were to Google something, like if you're a master at absolutely anything and you look at what the news or what anyone like on Google says about it, it's laughable. Like no matter what, if you really understand anything and you go on Google to look for information about it, it's like no way. Like this is what they actually tell people.
Mhm.
So for me, diseases is just one of those things. Um, and obviously it's like slavery too. They want us to build up their things. They want control. It's all like this lack mentality. It's just completely like out of alignment. And I mean, the word evil is live backwards. So if you think about it that way, like their motivations are just exactly backwards.
They're
Let me
living
see.
dangerously. I'm so sorry to go, but I have this like 3:30 meeting.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Well,
I'm gonna have to pop out. But yeah, I definitely want to do this again with you. It was such a pleasure, you know.
of course.
So yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll continue the chat.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Much love. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.